Adana presents Fowl Play, an adventure for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition.
Well, I have it now.
You can see you can see Hanael just looking at you, leaning slightly, slightly against one of the trellises. She's just looking at you, clawed hand, just leaning against her lower jaw, not lower jaw, her chin. I think, and it's just like
she's got her, she's got like a hand under her, like resting up her chin, just kind of going, when are they gonna be done?
It's like this is entertaining.
I'll check my nails. Yeah.
Goodness.
He's almost just shaking his beak a little bit. Oh boy, it's going to be a very long day. I usually work with professionals. Oy.
I'm a professional.
So,
oh, that is a gorgeous plumage that you've got.
Yeah, it is.
So,
and then I'm gonna
for
put it
those
in
of-
my bag.
Yes, Vinny is based on a Millefleur Belgian Duclay rooster. So he is a sort of bright copper with white and black dots all over him, and this beautiful black plume of a tail with little white dots on the end of each feather. He is very fancy.
oh yeah, what does Fume and Navin look like?
Navin, he's a crow. He's proud to be a crow. And he wears like the typical Plague's Doctor mask. And he's dressed in all black. Very fitting for his skin tone color, for feather tone color. And the mask, usually, if you guys know, it's stuffed with flowers and stuff to keep out the smell. It's his actual beak in there. So it's actually solid. But he does look like the Plague Doctor.
Fume is he's a raven. No, he's not. He's also a crow. But he likes to think that he's a raven. His mother told him that his father was a raven. And no. He's got like some blue highlights. His feathers are more kind of like midnight black blue. And he is dressed. I mean, he's a ninja essentially, so he's all in very dark clothes. Everything's kind of bundled in tight. He's got a. What's he armed with again? Yeah, he's got like a katana sword, and a tanto, which is like a dagger, at his side, ready to go. What's Vinny wearing, by the way?
Vinny is wearing common clothes over leather armor, so he looks a little bit bulkier than he should. A set of very finely stitched, very soft, supple gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a rapier on his side, but the thing that he seems to be carrying around with him is a very well-made drum.
How big is the drum in relation to him?
It's sort of like a bongo type drum, so it's quite small, but because he is a very small bird, it's probably about the length of his forearm in height. Okay. Maybe a bit longer.
Cool.
Yep. And this thing seems to be joint, like, his friends have asked him from time to time when he's going to have the surgery to have it removed.
Well, you've sort of got a doctor with you now to schedule, but I'm not sure I would recommend them.
Absolutely not.
So a little bit fun fact about Nevin is that he's a trained necromancer, so he's from the school of necromancy, but he used to be aspired to be a cleric, and he was nicknamed. His name is basically his full name is Nevin Too Late because he's always too late to save someone.
Yes.
That's how his name came about. And therefore, because it's too late to save someone, he became a necromancer, reviving someone after they died instead of actually preventing them from dying.
Excellent.
I love that.
Oh, I forgot to say he also carries a bag that you've seen him dig around in, and there is definitely more in that bag than it should be able to carry.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, the plague doctor just plucked out a tail feather from them. So whilst that's going on, Fume is going to turn to the kitsune, Hanayo, and he'll kind of frown a little bit because he's a bit confused about how you go after a dark star, and just say, "What's our target again?"
Your target would be a person who arrived with the star.
Person.
Yes.
As in a human?
I do not believe that they are human, no. They
What?
They looked human, sort of, but there's no human energy to them.
Hey.
Well, a lot of things look human. I mean, elves look human. Orcs look human.
Orcs? Are you blind?
No, they don't have feathers. They're human-ish, right?
They are green. Their bone structure is definitely different.
But they all look more or less the same. You know, they've got no feathers. They definitely all share the same vague physical features. They don't have tails.
It just makes them not animal, right?
Exactly.
Now,
But-
So,
We both have
what I
tails,
mean to
we
ask
both have
is-
feathers. Do we look very, very similar? And Fume kind of gestures towards his black feathers and your white and brown feathers. Just kind of going, do I need to? I think this is rhetorical. Yes, no.
I mean, I've seen birds like you that were different colors.
That's like me. And Fume narrows his eyes. Well, where are we going with this?
I mean, Corvins. I've seen white ones, and I've seen one that was sort of creamy coloured. It may have just been a dirty white one. Anyway, he was drunk and passed out under a table in a tavern, so who knows?
Was Vinny or the or the dirty
The-
Corvin?
The dirty Corvus.
I mean, probably both.
Oh no, Vinny doesn't drink.
This person, what? Fume asks, what do they look like? How will we know when we found them?
I only saw them a couple of times after they first arrived, but they looked bigger than a human. Have any of you ever seen the Goliaths of Cynadel?
The grayskin guys?
Yes, those. This
I dissect one of them before.
this person that arrived is about the size of a Goliath.
But
Okay.
but not grey skin then.
No, they look tanned, like sun-tanned, and their eyes were black.
Can Vinny perhaps roll history or something to see if he's ever in his travels encountered such a creature?
And can I roll history as well to see if I read?
Yeah,
anything
sure.
of this sort?
Absolutely, you can both do that.
I
Good
will
for
roll
me.
history.
Oh,
That is a 22.
What would Fume roll for that as well? Nature?
Yes, give me a nature check to see if you've encountered one.
Oh, nice.
Navin, you have never actually seen one of these creatures before, but in your studies, you would have come across the similar descriptions of tanned or golden-skinned humanoids with black eyes. Normally they would have been related to the Aasimar, but they have lost their celestial glow. As the Aasimar are more human-sized than Goliaths, however. And most of the Aasimar are good aligned, so they would try to do good, even though they've been cut off from their celestial origin in one way or another, physical or otherwise. In your studies, you would have heard of fallen celestials that match the description. Falling from the skies, tan skin, black eyes. Fume, you know that there once was a contract out for a fallen celestial, and no one wanted to get near that contract.
What does he remember about that contract?
It was a being who had set up shop near the trade port of Giant's Port up in the Dragon's Rest Islands. You do not know what happened to the contract. It just vanished one day, but you know for as long as it was up and available, no one wanted to get near it.
Do I know who posted it in the first place?
No. You just remember it because of the description given, since you did a nature check.
Yeah, okay, it matches. Cool.
Yeah, that matches the description. That's all you can remember of it.
Okay, cool. So there wasn't a name that was given.
No, not that you can remember. You just remember that description matches a contract I.
Yeah. Okay.
Vinny, you had a similar from your history check. You had a similar thought that this sounds familiar. I've heard of a being like this as I was in one of the taverns I performed in, or that you performed in. That they were spreading money around and seemingly very charismatic, very like people talked well of them, even though they gave off a very creepy vibe.
Did I meet this person, or did I just hear about them?
You just heard about them. You haven't met this person.
So this being has been landed 200 years ago on a dark star. And after the arrival of the dark star, the forest became corrupted.
Yes.
Corrupted? Fume asked, corrupted how?
The plants seem to be dying, and the earth is turning dark and lifeless, like swamp soil. Trees turn twisted and covered in slime.
But if you said this happened a long time ago, why does it matter that it needs to be solved now?
The wards that me and my friends then set up are being broken.
By what?
Woods.
We well, I am the only one living of our group from back then, or still living
What?
from back then, and I'm not sure. I tried to take it on myself, but something is working against my powers as a protector.
Dark star. I'm imagining some kind of meteor, kind of rock thing. Yeah, you know. Is it still there?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is there like a crater where it landed, or what?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And then the gems were
The gems.
were found in the crater.
Yes, the gems were found in the crater.
Oh, and this person was found in the crater as well.
No, she had only seen this person twice, so not in the crater. The crater was empty when they got there,
Okay.
except for the gemstones.
When was the last time you saw this person?
Oh, it must have been 70 years ago now.
Why do you suspect them? Why do you want them to be got rid of?
To be honest, I suspect them because it happened right after they arrived. It could be complete conjecture, of course, or it could be my own bias. But the forest started changing after they arrived, and the corruption spreads from the crater. Of course, I cannot tell with certainty, but I suspect that if they arrived at the same time, that this person is part of the corruption.
I see.
Is it safe to visit the crater?
It should be.
May we have directions?
Oh yes, of course. My apologies. Am I to assume that you take on this mission?
I'll take on this mission.
Excellent. See, to get to the crater, you will have to travel roughly half a day northeast from where we are at right now.
How large is the crater?
Oh, you see my home here? And she points to the giant oak tree.
Mm-hmm.
The crater itself is about the size of the base of my home.
To find your fallen person, where would you suggest we start looking? It's been 70 years since you last saw them. I presume you have intelligence about where they might be found.
There is a hill not too far from where the crater is. In that hill is a cavern that where I have seen people coming and going. I cannot get close without my powers waning, so I suspect that that is where they live.
Okay.
Your power waning?
Yes, there's.
Waning.
I suspect it is the corruption itself that is making me weaker.
I see.
Unfortunate.
They prove to not be the source of the corruption. What then?
Then leave them be. Unless they threaten you, of course.
Of course.
And should they try to stop you from finding the source of this corruption, well,
Deal with them harshly.
yes.
Yes.
The good of this forest has to be first priority.
Oh, I cannot promise that.
You see
Yeah.
Hanael lift a clawed paw to her face, think for a moment, and the prevention of the destruction of this forest.
My magnificent little neck is always going to be my top priority. But
Yeah.
this can come second.
Fume snorts and points down the well again.
Yes, no risk,
Are
no
you
reward.
sure about that?
Calculated risk. Calculated. Calculated.
One cannot get more treasure tomorrow if one is dead. This is true.
Exactly.